Tired of the everyday routine? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all?
We offer you...
What's up, guys? Welcome to Breaking Walls, episode number 51. My name is James Scully. Tonight on Breaking Walls, we're headed over to the gallery. A couple of weeks ago, I got the opportunity to attend the first ever event for an emerging New York art collective called Noumenal Space. The event was housed inside a Brooklyn Boulders location in Long Island City and purposely thrown the evening before Donald Trump's presidential inauguration. With so much seeming opposition in the U.S. today, Noumenal Space's wide range of artists participated with a single collective goal in mind, well, really a triumvirate of goals, to create more unity, opportunity, communication, and inspiration. A large portion of the proceeds generated at this event went to charity, specifically Planned Parenthood and the Bronx Defenders. Noumenal Space's creators Andy Ong and Caitlin Marie Miner founded the collective with the mission to bring individuals together to share experiences and inspire emotions through art beyond the confines of traditional outlets. Noumenal, by definition, is the opposite of what we would think of as the textbook definition of phenomenal. I guess the best way to describe it would be it's the it, but without pretension. It's the steak minus the sizzle. If the steak is good enough, it doesn't need the sizzle. So beyond all of the noise and all of the BS, there's the thing. What is the thing? Is it important? True to Caitlin and Andy's beliefs, the show at Brooklyn Boulders occurred while the gym was open for business. People were working out, climbing, connecting right as the show was going on. Some of these people, after their workouts came up, checked out the art as well. Some of the people at the art show afterwards went and worked out. The two separate groups shared the space in harmony, which showed me while I was there how easy, if we want, cohabitation is possible. So, in today's show, we'll speak on location with Caitlin and Andy about the experience running Noumenal Space, as well as their own sense of duty to the community and creative outlets, plus what they're looking for in the future. Along those same lines, I'll catch up with designer and illustrator Jenna Stempel about where her sense of creative expression comes from. I'll also speak with architectural partners Franklin Rojas and Recinos about where form and function in architecture is headed in their opinions. You'll also hear from Brooklyn Boulders head of marketing Joe Caravaglia. We'll talk why Brooklyn Boulders, why right now, and what's next. But before I get into the body of this podcast, I do want to make a few announcements. If you just discovered Breaking Walls on social media, you can find out more about what the WallBreakers is at thewallbreakers.com. THEWALLBREAKERS.com. You can subscribe to Breaking Walls by searching for the same on iTunes. And if you like us here, you can also follow us on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/thewallbreakers. We're on all social media outlets at The WallBreakers. I've recently launched a t-shirt line in honor of the 5 boroughs of New York City with Staten Island MC and also episode 1 of Breaking Walls guest, Reb Rant. Reb and I go way back. We went to high school together. Very talented guy, truly cares for his community. We want to continue to help inspire unity amongst all New Yorkers. We feel like, no matter black or white, no matter what city or borough, with unity, we all have a voice and we all have a choice. That's a lot about what this show at Noumenal Space was about as well. So you can check these tees out at jamesthewallbreaker.com/shop. And hey guys, rep your borough. We've got 2 designs we're currently offering. They come in black or white, and we're selling these t-shirts for $20. And now that we've taken care of some housekeeping, I hope you brought your climbing gear, because we're about to be transported inside Brooklyn Boulders at 2310 41st Avenue in Long Island City, Queens, New York. We'll break gender lines, we'll break artistic rules, and we'll do so after this brief pause. So stay tuned for Breaking Walls, episode number 51. Standing inside a very crowded Brooklyn Boulders. People are climbing, people are sweating, people are laughing, people are connecting. Noumenal Space has taken over a portion of the downstairs area. Artists have their work displayed either on tables, or some art is hanging from the rock climbing walls themselves. I'm seeing everything from architecture to illustration to design to textiles to photography, and most importantly, listen to this energy. I'm feeling a lot of positivity in the air tonight. And, oh, hey, there's Caitlin. Let me go talk to her.
Running around, unable to talk to you.
So when we last spoke, you were in great anticipation for this first event.
Yeah, and now we're here.
How do you feel?
I feel great. We sold out ahead of time, which I had no idea was going to happen. I actually didn't know until right before. I was like, what if 5 people come? And they were like, well, we've sold way out of capacity already. Before this morning, we had already made over $700 for the Bronx Defenders.
Fantastic.
Yeah, before just even opening. So, and we've sold a lot of pieces, and we've had way more entries since then. So I'm really excited to see the final price tag on the donation.
What were the logistics of having a gallery event in a working bouldering place? And the bouldering place isn't closed.
No.
It's open right now. People are here working out.
Yeah, I think that's the best part about it. It was kind of difficult to figure out the curation of the whole event. For example, you'll see the climbing wall that we're looking at with all the art in front of us right now still has climbing holds on it, and it's still like very much an active space. And what we were able to do was take these bolts that were able to suspend the art further away from the wall, so it gives the art this floating effect. And I really wanted a space that wasn't just a white box, because this is about like a grassroots community of artists, and this is more about nonprofits and giving back.
James.
Oh, James, nice to meet you.
Yeah, this is James. This is my fiance, Andy.
There is nothing wrong with beautiful gallery walls, but in 2017 there are definitely, fair or not, stereotypes about gallery pretension in the art community, especially in New York City. Think about what you think a Williamsburg gallery is supposed to look like. Or 15 years ago, think about what you think a Soho or a West Village gallery is supposed to look like. This evening at Brooklyn Boulders is nothing like that. And at this point, Andy Ong dipped into the conversation.
Oh, James, nice to meet you.
Yeah, this is James. This is my fiance, Andy.
I was curious about Andy's photography, which was depicting men and women nude in various positions that would redefine what we would consider normal gender roles. I was looking,
founder of
that's
it.
your photography there, right?
Yes, correct.
What's the inspiration for your photography that you're presenting here today?
I want to do something with body language and how we perceive body language, as in what's masculine and what's feminine. So I can want to just show the woman in a traditionally dominant position based on her body language.
Sure.
Yeah, that's kind of what sparked it. There's some acro yoga where men are traditionally the base because they're the stronger person, but in that picture there's a woman the base and the guy the flyer. Yeah, it's just showing that based on body language, that shows
Like that's a closed position.
Yeah, just maybe, oh, that's a manly position.
Yeah, with your arms crossed and your chest
Manly.
out.
Right.
It's like there's a manly
Well, what that
position.
actually means is I don't want to be vulnerable right now.
Yes, it could be. Exactly.
It's a super sexist thought anyways. That's not how gender works. So it's what's the line between gender and then what's the line between body language? Because I'm very cognizant of that. When I go into a meeting, I tend to take up space. I lean back, I have my arms open. I try to be more masculine in my gesture to be like, oh no, I'm power, I am say here. But then really, like, what does that mean? That just means not that I have power. It means that my body language is more masculine. So it's kind of playing with the power, feminine, masculine.
So it's like, what is masculine though? Is it showing power? Does that make it masculine?
Yeah, and that's a societal conception.
Exactly.
It's not based in any kind of real fact.
It's not
Exactly.
real.
So what I'm definitely noticing as an overall theme of this show tonight, it has a lot to do with human energy, how we interact with the space, how that's changing. I was speaking to the architects about the rigidity of architectural forms and how we're starting to break free from that, or even the fact that we're in a working bouldering place right now. Your art is hanging on a wall, people can interact, people can be working out, and nobody's pissed off about any of that.
Oh no, they love it.
Right, it's bringing people closer together.
What is it about human form that innately wishes to be free of rules and confinement? Is it that the more we progress, the deeper our sense of self, and then the deeper our sense of self, the more we realize most of the rules in front of us aren't really for our own benefit? I spoke with architect Franklin Rojas about how his sense of limitlessness comes out in his
You guys
architecture.
design partners?
Yes, correct.
How long have you guys been working together?
Well, we've been working for the past 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
We recently about to be 3 years working together. We actually we went to the same college, New York City College of Technology. Graduated under the same major of architecture and technology. And our major, actually, one of the main things they try to contribute in architecture is fabrication. For me, fabrication just opened my idea of conceptual designing, that we're allowed to expand our minds, not have limits, so we're limitless. Once you have the mindset of being limitless, you could design anything. So in terms of what Anna was talking about, is in terms of nature. Nature gave us a space, and us as humans, we are building spaces for each other. So for architecture, for me personally, where I see myself in the next 5 years is owning my own digital fabrication company, where I'm able to take fabrication and make it limitless in terms that I'm able to create anything that comes to my mind. I do not give myself a limit, because everything is possible and everything should be possible. You should put that in your mind, in your head, you should be able to do it.
Architecture can be an incredibly meditative thing. And if you look at the history of an igloo, a teepee, a yurt, as compared to a steel structure that you might see in America, do you see, as a society, you're talking about being limitless?
Yes.
Are you the outlier, or are you becoming more of the norm in that thought process?
What do you mean by the norms of what society follows, or?
I would say that the majority of the people who are in this room right now gravitate more towards your line of thinking than more of a straight and rigid,
correct,
just mental approach to life.
Right. So the way I'm very, very spiritually, and I like to see life in that terms. So for me, society gives us a system, a rule that we follow, norms we follow. Just like the structure today is steel, just basically square buildings, rectangle, just up. They don't express its design. So
and we as humans, by the way, not to cut you off, we're not straight and rigid.
No, correct. So that's the thing. As a human body, and especially the mind, it's such a beautiful thing. You can't just define what it is. So we take that and take it into architecture in terms of fabrication and technology into architecture will expand that idea. So just in terms of spirituality, the lights in the space, an interior space, would put you in a better mood depending on the color of the light. If you're working at a firm or a facility or a job, if you bring nature within that space, you'll feel different because you're interacting with nature itself. Because before we had spaces, we had a space and that was nature itself. I personally am not going to stay in New York. I actually want to travel to Germany, Spain, London, and other countries throughout over the seas because I believe I'm here for a purpose. And that purpose is not to stay in one spot, it's for me to travel the world, what nature has to offer to me, because that will allow me to expand my creativity of what I want to create and, share with the world.
Anna Recinos then chimed in with his thoughts on spirituality within architectural form.
There's a lot of interconnectedness in architecture, and I feel like people are becoming more aware of that, especially through the use of technology as well, using the integration of robotics and 3D printing to create forms that activate to the person. Even something simple as changing the color of the lights as soon as you walk in, and it can be detected by the mood you're in. Just stuff like that is becoming more. When people are researching it more into spirituality, is like how it's connected through how colors and sound can change your mentality or your health, and I feel like it's a very big push that we need to make as well to advance it.
I would definitely say that having a deeper sense of connection with the world around us helps us feel limitless. It also gives us artistic inspiration. Along those lines, I caught up with artist and illustrator Jenna Stempel about where her sense of inspiration comes from. On her table, there was everything from nonsensical art to incredibly detail-oriented, hand-lettered type to art that would make you laugh or possibly make you uncomfortable. Hey, is this yours? Hi, I'm James.
Jenna.
Nice to meet you. I am friends with Caitlin, and
nice.
I'm also audio recording this right now.
Oh, fun.
Because we're going to use this for a podcast in a couple
Okay.
weeks. I'm noticing a combination of both women's empowerment and a snarky twist on that too. Did you design this specifically for the inauguration and your thoughts on it, or is this something that you were working on and it just so happened to be?
Yep, my friend Sarah Kaufman, who I work with, is friends with Caitlin, so she hooked me up with the show, and I just make crafts in my free time and was happy to bring a bunch of stuff that I had already made here.
So, nasty, oh snap, cunt, pussy power, eggplant,
Yep.
and some nicely designed dookies over here. What's the inspiration behind something like this?
I hate to say it, but just to make myself laugh.
Okay, that's fine, right?
Yeah, it's fun to just have an outlet outside work to make things with my hands, because I spend a lot of time on the computer. So it's just whatever makes me chuckle at the moment and that I think people might want to have in their house. And I love tchotchkes, so happy to contribute. Luckily, what's really trendy right now in teen book covers is hand lettering. I think people like to feel like, obviously things swing back and forth between really digital and really handmade, and I think now we're in a really handmade type of trend for book covers, so it's been nice to do lettering for work and then just to make fun things on the side that aren't necessarily about love triangles and my parents don't understand me and
yeah, exactly.
that type of stuff. I mean, I love teen book covers, and luckily we have a lot now that are like Woman with Sword Conquers Castle, just some more mature subjects.
Maybe being inspired and making ourselves laugh is another way to be open to learning. According to Frankie Rojas, our school system
is completely different. They teach us things that we're not prepared to step into real life. So in terms of money, what job do we need, all they tell us is get a good grade, get a good degree, and work for the rest of your life. And life should not be like that, because in this generation, especially this generation and the further generations, we should not be thinking that way. We should be expanding our minds of thought. So for me personally, when it comes time for me to have a family and have kids, I'll take them to travel, to have them explore the world so they personally could experience that. If we all do that as humans and parents, then the mindsets for people will be different.
Right.
So, but that will definitely take work and throughout the years, because if I wait till 20 to 45 to travel the world, it's never too late, but the timing there, some of us, we just give up, or we're like, you know what, we can't really do much of a change. But for me, I always have a mindset that everything is possible, so everything is limitless. So once I put that in my mindset, I could do anything I want, even if people tell me I can't. Everything's possible.
I almost find that when people tell me I can't do something, that's more of an affirmation in my mind that I can, and you're just afraid that I can.
Same here. Because as society, what we don't understand or what we can't comprehend, or
we shun.
Yeah, we don't want to.
Right.
We're like, you know what? No, thank you. I'll just stay what we have. Just like for my mentality, as I grew up as a child, I grew up in a family with 7 kids. Dad would just work every day. My mom would work every day, would put food on my table. They just told us, go to school, get a good grade, and get a degree and work for a job. For me, at an age around 10 years old, I already knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to own my own company. I wanted to get an architecture degree. I want to be able to proceed a corporation that will not bring me wealth, but also my family and my future, grandkids and family that I want to have. So once I bring that, they'll be the new generation that they have a background of financial.
Frankie is right. The more we can travel and expand our minds, the deeper we'll feel a sense of connection with the world around us. That's something we should all want to pass on to our children, but what if we don't currently have money to travel? What can we do with the world that's already around us presently? I spoke with Brooklyn Boulders head of marketing, Joe Caravaglia, about how Brooklyn Boulders is taking a similar approach to the way they run their company, and also what makes Joe passionate enough about Brooklyn Boulders to be their head of marketing in the first place.
Okay, that's a two-parter question, right? So the first question was, why not close down the space for an art gallery event? You were surprised that we were still open. And that has a lot to do with just who we are as a brand and what we're trying to be. So we're trying to be that all-inclusive hub of the community, really. So, if you look right in our logo is Brooklyn Boulders Climbing and Community. Community is a really big aspect of what we do. It is not just climbing. It is not just working out. It's not just fitness. We bring in cultural elements, art elements, fitness elements. We exist to bring out the best in people, whether it's their physical potential or their mental potential. We really just try to maximize people's confidence in themselves and their ability to rise above everything and conquer whatever it is that they're out there to do, whether that's a really hard rock climb or, conquering their next play or their next art piece or their next musical piece. We actually do artist residency programs where we where we empower the people in our community to do art here. Actually, if you notice, if you walk around, all of the walls are covered in murals. It's all local artists, all climbers, and we try to get them to be involved, get their art out here, and then just build that sense of community. That's what really makes us stand out. And then I think the second part of your question was, why am I the marketing manager of Brooklyn Boulders? What do I see in this company? And that's a really loaded question, because I've been climbing for 13 years, so climbing is like, I'm just designed to do that. I'm also
this isn't just a job for you.
It's not. It's a total passion play. I've done the finance thing for a while. I've worked in agencies, and I wanted to align my passion with my work. And that's what I think Brooklyn Boulders sets out to do for the community, really. With our co-working spaces, people can come in, they can work on whatever it is they have to work on, and then they can, climb, free up their minds, meditate a little, take a yoga class, go back to their work. And the reason I'm working for Brooklyn Boulders is to align my passion of rock climbing with the way that I make money and survive, which is unavoidable evil, unfortunately. But the company is growing really fast, and we are bringing this sense of community to new places, new cities, influencer cities that are cultural hubs of art and music and intellect. We're also in Boston and Chicago, and we're growing to all of those influencer cities, if you will. And that's a big reason why I'm here. I believe in their mission. I believe in expanding the sense of community, because my philosophical beliefs is like, we're all one anyway. Why not really make that tangible, right?
Yeah.
Why not give people the sense of that when they're here climbing? And that's what I think Brooklyn Boulders sets out to do, and that's really
Perhaps as a native Brooklynite, I'm biased, but Brooklyn Boulders' mantra is so Brooklyn to me. At one time, Brooklyn, if you don't know, was referred to as the bedroom of New York. It was where people went home after they were working in the city. People lived in Brooklyn. Brooklyn was a place of neighborhoods. Really, it still is. And in a world with so much technological isolation and curated falseness, getting out there to our own local communities and meeting more people helps us grow. Here's Joe again.
Connected but more lonely. It's a little bit of a paradox there, but it's a lot of what we're trying to do. We're trying to allow people to unplug. And actually in March, we're going to be taking part of National Day of Unplugging. So we're actually going to get people in here. We're going to have them drop their cell phones at the front desk, drop their computers, come in here, listen to an acoustic band. It's really about taking yourself out of Facebook for a couple hours and really focusing in on increasing your awareness, and engaging in an activity like climbing is a good way to do that. It helps you become aware again of your body, and it really disconnects you from all the buzzing noise of New York City and on your Facebook feeds and Twitter feeds. And it's really important for us to get back to that community and to pull people away from their news feeds so that they can engage with other humans like in real life.
Right. What's real?
Yeah.
This is real.
Exactly. Is it though?
Well, George Harrison said the farther one travels, the less one knows. So.
Well put.
Is there anything about Brooklyn Boulder that you haven't said that you'd want people to know?
We're coming to your city.
Okay.
We're going to take over.
Fantastic. Thank you.
We're going to get you involved in our community. We're going to make you play acoustic sets. We're going to get you in on some art. We're going to make you do a mural. We're going to get weird together. We're going to make it beautiful. And we're going to establish a community that's all-inclusive, that is culturally diverse, that is intellectually diverse, and that inspires and innovates.
If you're interested, the National Day of Unplugging is the weekend of March 4th to 5th, 2017. For more information, go to nationaldayofunplugging.com. Towards the end of the evening, I caught up again with Caitlin Miner and Andy Ong. I wanted to see how Andy was feeling now that the show was over and what was next for Noumenal Space.
We've closed this show, basically, and I'm excited to do another one. Find more artists to come out and showcase their work.
Yeah.
I think the reason why I started Noumenal Space was to create a platform, mainly for people who just want to showcase their art and they don't have to go to like a label, to a gallery. It's like, please exhibit me. Here's my art. I hope you like it.
Yeah,
I hope it
I'll
fits
print the
here.
gallery walls.
Yeah, I know this person told me that my art would be great here, and I was wondering if you think the same. Whereas I'm like, hey, you make art, bring it out, and I think it forces someone, I want to make more themed exhibits where an artist can sit down and create a body of work that is cohesive. And I think me as kind of like an amateur independent artist, usually I make things on the fly, something spontaneous. I don't really think through it. That could be good and bad, but I think if you want to do something, say for a commercial, or, say there's an artist who wants to do something professionally, well, they're gonna have to sit down and say, I need to make something consistent. And I think that's kind of what I'm trying to help people maybe develop, and also give them an opportunity to showcase, say that they did showcase their work in a gallery. It makes them more legit, and it gives them confidence to do it, and maybe, hopefully they can grow as an artist. That's basically it. It's just kind of giving back.
Because there's a lot of economic and educational barriers that you have to get through to be an artist. And that's something that I take for granted because I feel like I was born an artist, but that's because I'm very lucky. So giving people a chance to exhibit in a curated setting and create a curated piece of work is something that a lot of people don't get. And that's what we're trying to do. And I think doing this event has given me so much more faith in people because the outpouring of support we got is amazing. Our sponsors, our beer sponsors, were phenomenal. Brooklyn Boulders, and giving us this collaborative space to work with. They really understood that we wanted a community space that was involved with the gallery. And then all the artists and everyone that showed up out of the goodness of their hearts to come support. And it's like, yeah, it's about art and it's about creating this kind of space for people, but more importantly, it's about giving back to the artists and giving back to the community, and that's something that people will show up for. I think we have like a short-term and a long-term plan. Like we do want to have a show possibly at the end of the summer, which will benefit the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, which is a nonprofit that I work very closely with. But I think Andy has as the founder, has all these long-term plans about getting into the public school systems. Specifically in the Bronx, and offering this kind of youth outreach program through art, through communities that are not able to experience art and cultivate and showcase art in the way that the art world sees as a reality, basically. So there is a long-term plan for opening up a shop, basically, for that, which Andy can speak to.
Yeah, and basically, I started making music. That was my first outlet, my first creative outlet, and it has given me so much, relief and comfort, and just gave me a place to kind of, get through the hard times. And I feel like, it's important for people to experience this, or to have this kind of outlet. And if they find an outlet in something else, all right, fine. But there are a lot of people out, or a lot of kids out there who don't have that outlet, or don't have the funds to get the tools to experience that type of outlet. So the long term is I'd like to do more shows, and fundraise money to give back out to the community, especially high school kids, where they might not have a job, full-time job, they're still going to school, but if they could go and get a keyboard, some tools for painting, drawing, or even a computer, a camera, a film, that will go a long ways, giving them that opportunity to use a tool that they wouldn't have if they didn't have the funds to get. I just want to give a shout out to Brooklyn Boulders. Thank you for donating the space. You guys are awesome. And also to 6 Point Brewery and LIC Beer Project. Thank you for the beer. Everyone enjoyed it and everyone had a good time. Thanks a lot.
It really is so important to both give back and pay it forward. As I mentioned on the opening, one of Noumenal Space's only rules about this show was that a portion of all art sold needed to be donated by the artist to a cause that they supported. The Bronx Defenders was one of the main charities. They helped give those in need everything from representation to groceries. Another main charity that artists were donating to was Planned Parenthood. I asked Jenna Stempel why she was donating all of her proceeds there.
I think the right to choose is specifically really important to me as a woman in general, but as a human, I think it should be important for everyone. And just hearing stories on the news of how far people have to drive to find a person to get an abortion, and it just seems like white men in Congress shouldn't be legislating women's bodies, and all the reasons you traditionally hear, I completely agree with. I think that seems like one of the biggest organizations that'll be under siege right now, and that seems to me like your money can make an immediate impact.
I really think that no matter what we care about or where we're currently at, both mentally and physically in our lives, it's never been more apparent how desperately we're all searching for connection and a sense of purpose. Noumenal Space is providing all of those things, and the beauty is there's no cornering the market on love and connection. We can all have that. Love is one of the most abundant natural resources in the world. We just all have to be willing to be vulnerable to have a deeper sense of it. I would really like to thank all the artists who participated in Noumenal Space's first show for giving me their time. If you're interested in joining Noumenal Space and want to see firsthand the work of artists mentioned on Breaking Walls tonight, please go to noumenal.space. That's NOUMENAL.space. To connect with Caitlin or Andy, send them an email at we@Noumenal Space and be on the lookout for new shows from Noumenal Space in 2017. Jenna Stempel's work for HarperCollins and others can be viewed at jennastempel.com. That's JENNASTEMPEL. Anner can be followed on Instagram at anner.r.more. That's ANNER.R.MORE. Franklin can be followed on Instagram as well at IM_1. That's the numeral _of a kind. Both were recently featured in a Brooklyn Boulders blog post leading up to the Noumenal Space show, which I'll include in the links within the information for this episode. And finally, if you're interested in learning more about Brooklyn Boulders, please go to brooklynboulders.com. As I mentioned on the opening, I've recently launched a New York City-centric t-shirt line. Shirts can be found and purchased at jamesthewallbreaker.com/shop. These typographic shirts use the names from each borough, the slang names. That's the old, if you know about them, then there's no explanation necessary. And if you don't, no explanation will suffice, as we New Yorkers will know what that means. And they're hopefully here to help inspire unity among all us New Yorkers and all the people too. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to Breaking Walls episode number 51. I want to thank Caitlin and Andy for giving me the opportunity to conduct on-the-scene interviews, putting people on the spot. They had no idea they were going to be interviewed when I went over and spoke to them. We're now in the beginning of February. We are in a very, very unknown landscape here, both where we're going in our lives, what the story is with the rest of the world, where we're headed as a country. There's a lot of unknowns right now, but we are headed towards the spring. The days are starting to get longer. February is a short month. It turns into March, and before you know it, springtime will be here. I hope that you listened to these snippets of conversation tonight, and I hope that they made you think, made you open up your mind a little bit more. And hey, even if you were already open, there's like love. You can't corner the market on being open. You can't corner the market on giving thanks, and can't corner the market on allowing vulnerability into our lives to have some serendipity and grow from it. I will be back in the middle of February with the next episode of Breaking Walls, episode number 52. And I will only say this about it. If you're interested in holistic beauty products or personal training, it'll be something that you definitely want to listen to. So until next time, guys, my name is James Scully. This has been Breaking Walls, episode number 51, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Thank you very much.
This is WBBN, the WallBreakers Broadcasting Network. Thank you, and good afternoon.